We're back on Real Estate Talk Boston, joined by one of our longtime power players, Patti Salem from Barrett Sotheby's out in Lincoln. Patti, thank you for stopping by as always.
It's always a pleasure, Chris.
You guys are out in a great market out in that Lincoln, Sudbury area. What are you seeing right now with buyers and sellers in your market?
Interestingly enough, there's a dichotomy in the market. Houses that are priced maybe between from $500,000 up to $1.3 million are selling very quickly with multiple offers if presented properly. Anything over $1.5 million is sitting. So how I would characterize that, Chris, is that we have a seller's market up to the 1.2 range, and we have a buyer's market 1.5 and above. And what that means is I don't want people at the higher end of spending to think that there isn't a lot of opportunity out there for them, because it is. There's a lot for them to see, there's a lot for them to compare to, and it's a great time to find value.
Why do you think there's that fine line in and around that price point?
I'm not an economist, so I would not pretend to be, but I do have some thoughts about it. One of them may be that the stock market is so strong right now that people of means are preferring to keep their money in the market where they know at this point in time they're getting a sort of a guaranteed rate of return. And since 2008, people are still nervous about where real estate will go in the long term.
I think between those two price points too, you find a lot of buyers as you get higher. A lot of people don't realize this, but cash buyers become more common on the higher end.
Most definitely.
And looking for a different almost type of value. Although you might think you're at that 1.2 range, let's say, when you're getting pre-approved, maybe that person should be looking a little bit higher because there might be a little bit more value there.
Well, the other thing that I would recommend to my high-end buyers who can pay cash is keep your money in the market. Interest rates are still low enough that you actually can get a good rate and get into a beautiful home and property for the long term. And should rates go up or should something change, you can always pay off that mortgage quickly.
Right. Now for that $500,000 to 1.2, 1.3 range, are you seeing things come on the market and they're still, if
flying off
they're
flying off the market with multiple bids, and the property values are being bid up to support that.
Yeah, and Lincoln is one of those towns. Great place to live. You've raised your family and been in Lincoln for a long time.
Yes.
You're seeing a lot of people come out of the city, or it's easy to commute in and out from Lincoln.
No question about that. It's 15 miles. If on the Route 2, 128 corridor onto the Mass Pike, and it's a different world out there. So I call it Central Park. You can be in the hubbub of the city, and then you come home and to a sort of a rural suburban neighborhood that is very calming and gets you away from the hectic life of your work.
Right, and Lincoln's got a ton of character. I feel like it's one of those towns, a lot of people might not necessarily know about it unless you're from that area.
Yes.
It kind of gets caught in the middle, but it is truly a gem and a great place to live and raise a family.
No question, I call it a hidden gem because, as you said, a lot of people don't know about it. It's a small town of 5,000 people, but it is truly small town living at its best.
So Patti, you've been selling real estate for over 20 years. I think one of the biggest things that has changed is marketing. What kind of shift have you seen?
Well, it's all digital marketing now, and so I tell sellers that when you are talking to real estate agents, it's very important that you talk to them and see how they present properties online. That's where the buyers are seeing them first, and if they don't like what they see online, they don't come to the property. You can't sell it if they don't come. So your pictures are extremely important. They should be professional photos, and the angles should be right, and if you don't like the pictures to start, they need to be taken again. But then there are videos that we do, there are Matterport videos that we do, there are floor plans that can be put online, and everything has to be accessible to the buyers, and it needs to be presented very professionally.
I think back in the day, you take a look at the Boston Sunday Globe on a Sunday and you see a bunch of homes and in black and white pictures. Occasionally there'd be a few in color.
Yes.
But people were willing to say, that's not a great picture. I'm going to go to the property. In today's world, the picture's got to be perfect. That first impression is everything, because if it's not, they're just going to go to the next one. They're not probably even going to give you a shot.
No, they don't. They don't come, which has spawned the whole staging industry and the lifestyle. People are now buying a lifestyle. They're not buying a home. People no longer are sure they're going to be in a home for 30 years.
Sure.
And so that's why they're part of the reason why they're a little bit particular. And they also don't have a lot of time. So they want to buy a home that maybe everything in it isn't their taste, but they have to feel that they can live with it, that it's clean and it's neutral, and they can buy the house on a Friday and then drop the kids off to school on Monday and go to work. And when they have the time, energy, and money to fix what they want, they will.
Right. And you have to be open to that mindset. For people that have owned a home for 30 years, the way that you're going to sell is not the way that you bought, right? And you might think that some of the social media websites and spots that you need to be online are not important. They are, and you need to tie yourself in with a real estate team like yours that's going to give you that type of exposure.
Absolutely. If you're interested in maximizing value, make sure your digital online presence is first rate.
Awesome. Thanks, Patti.
Thanks.
If you're in the Lincoln, Sudbury area, connect with Patti and team, pattisalem.com. We have more tips right here on Real Estate Talk Boston.